And we'll say good morning, Tanya.
Good morning, Vancouver, and Matt and Drew.
Tanya, so you're like a sexual guru. You apparently know everything there is to know about sex and how to have sex for about 13 hours with your head, like your leg wrapped around your head if you're so inclined. Because that's what tantric sex is it not? No?
Wow.
Isn't it the pressure that you must have it for about a million hours?
If it's not, we're out.
Yeah.
Actually, it has more to do with having orgasms for a million hours.
I like it. So not a lot of work, but a lot of orgasms.
There you are.
I love this is good.
All right. So here's basically, because we're a couple of dummies when it comes to this area, and probably most people are. How close are we to what this actually is, or are we way off base?
Well, I mean, the reality is Tantra is a life philosophy, and only 3% of Tantra has anything to do with sex at all. So we've kind of taken this art form of living and turned it into strictly a sexual thing.
How did that happen?
Well, we like sex.
Okay, so let's focus in on the 3% part.
Yes, let's do that. I mean, the first part of it has to do with trying to figure out the fundamentals of Tantra, which breath work. I keep coming up with breath work, and people keep saying, I don't understand. I'm breathing. How in the world is breathing going to change my entire life?
Mm-hmm.
And most of us are just kind of breathing. We're not actually using our breath the way we could to enhance our lives. And when I teach the foundation of breathing, of conscious breathing, because if you don't get that on board, all the other techniques will just pale.
Is there any way you could take us through an exercise or two here? Or people who are listening right now in their cars, are they going to be driving off the road because of the pleasure is going to be just insane?
Well, it's better that I take you through the breath work than the other work I could take you through. Then they'd all be driving off.
Okay, well, let's start. We've just met. Let's start slow. We'll do the breath work, and then in about a minute, we'll move on to the other fun stuff.
Fabulous.
All right.
So, okay, the first thing I want you to do is take a moment and just check in with how you're breathing right now. So what you're going to do is just close your eyes, not if you're driving, of course, and take a moment and find out, where is your breath? Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your throat? Where is your breath originating? Where is the most movement that you're feeling in your physical body?
Okay, mine's coming from my chest.
Your chest, yep.
Mine's my stomach.
Your stomach, oh, nice. So what you want to do is we're only using about 10% of our lung capacity when we breathe. So what you'd like to do is actually open that up more. So what I would say to you to do is go ahead and breathe out. But while you're breathing out, take your belly button and pull it back to the back of your spine. Try to actually empty every tiny molecule of air out of your lungs. It's hard to do, but come on, push.
I wish I hadn't had that second helping at dinner last night.
And then let your belly relax really fast. And let the air rush in from what feels like the bottom. And don't go up. Make your body come out. Make it wider and bigger. Let that stomach relax, something we have a really hard time doing. Let everything relax and let your body fill up, but don't bring your shoulders up. And that's a more filling breath. And you'd have to do that several times to start to get into your own rhythm.
Okay.
But essentially you want to breathe in as slowly as you want to exhale. And if you do this a series about 5 times or so, you'll start to feel a lot more energy, a lot more life in your body.
Well, it's almost very much like the yoga breathing.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, all of these philosophies of Tai Chi and martial arts and yoga, they all center around breath work, and all the breath work has to do with engaging fully in your breath.
So to take it the next step further then, once we kind of get a handle on the breathing, when you're in the moment and you're looking to extend it from, say, a minute and a half to 8.5 hours.
Yes.
Is it about the breathing at that point, or is there, and if you breathe, you'll extend the moment, or what is it? What happens at that juncture?
Well, being in the moment has a lot of different components. The breath work basically takes you into the present time of your body, of your physical body. You can't have two different physiological responses at the same time. You can't be stressed, and you can't deep breathe at the same time. So deep breathing changes your physiological response. So you start to center, you become more in the moment. Then there's intimacy exercises that help you prolong your experience. With those be eye gazing with your partner, breathing in harmony with your partner, and then as far as the actual, having sex for 8 or 10 hours, please don't think of it as most people think of sexuality, where they're just kind of pounding away. That's not how that happens. There's a lot of stillness involved. There's a lot of energy exchange involved. There's a lot of sinking and melting into each other more than doing.
We're speaking with Tanya Diamond this morning. She is the Tantric teacher. In fact, she's going to be coming to Vancouver soon, and you can actually take one of her workshops. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But, Tanya, I for so many people, they're listening and thinking, I might want to increase the pleasure in my sex life, the frequency, but time is of the essence. And I'm thinking,
have 13 hours to have sex.
Yeah, who has that kind of time?
Well, let me tell you that if you start having sex like this, you just don't want to watch TV. You just don't want to clean your house.
Well, right now there's a writer's strike, so I get that. But when the good shows come back.
Well, really, it starts, what happens is when you start to connect with your partner in that manner, in that deep, open manner, other things really pale in comparison. And what happens is you create relationships that you want to be in instead of create relationships that are put on the back burner waiting for when you have 5 minutes on a Saturday night.
I was just going to say, has you've probably saved marriages.
Oh, yes.
So you can take a couple that has virtually no sex life and turn them into a couple of Energizer bunnies.
Right. And in fact, I can do that in less than an hour.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
I'm getting married. I need to sign up for this class.
I don't know whether this would happen. I'm not sure whether anybody would fess up and say, "Hey, my bedroom life right now is non-existent. When we have it, it's the."
Women tell me this type of things a lot.
Well, what I'm going to get at here is if they would fess up to us. And if they wanted to, could we send them to your class and kind of talk to them before and after to see how it goes?
I would love for you to do that. That would be fabulous.
I wonder if anybody would actually want to call and admit that.
They will call you.
Really?
Yes, they will.
Yeah, but whether they'll call and want to be on the air, that's the other thing, right?
I bet you they will.
Okay, well, you're the teacher. We'll side with the teacher here. 280-9595 is our number. Call. Tell us your story, and we'll do our best to put you, we will. We'll put you in Tanya's class. We'll find out more of your short story. You got to be willing to share your story with everybody else who's listening, though. So come on the air with us, share your story with everybody else. We'll put you in Tanya's class, and then we'll touch base with you maybe a week or so later, if you've come up for air at that point, and find out how it's been going.
The elevator.
What we will say, though, is this, is if you're feeling really nervous, you're going to have to give us your real identity, but we can give you a stage name to tell your story on the air. So, it doesn't have to be like you're bearing your soul for the entire Lower Mainland, but it's perhaps through your experience as well, helping other people.
Tanya, thanks a lot for being on the show this morning. We look forward to registering a couple of people for your class.
That's fabulous. Thank you so very much for having me.